Hi everyone, welcome to the AbleTrend webinar. Ron here, and we'll go over the results and recent results for the AbleTrend signals. We'll take a look at them. I like to look at always at daily, weekly stock chart for the stock traders who use AbleTrend on a longer term basis, and I also would recommend a weekly, monthly chart for like retirement accounts and long-term positions where you may just make one or two trades per year. That works really well. I do it a lot myself. And we'll take a look at, of course, the E-mini NASDAQ. And the only reason I just have to say that we've been showing that one a lot lately is because that's the one we've been following this year. And the reason we're following that one is because it has the most volatility. So you want to pick markets that have a lot of volatility. And the only, the reason we pick the NQ is that it has the most volatility that's the smoothest. I mean, you can pick something like gold or crude oil, nothing wrong with that. Software work signals will be just as accurate on that as it will for the mini NASDAQ or the mini S&P. Or you can pick currencies or grains. Software work just as well for those markets. However, the price action in those other markets is just really difficult to win because it's really, really choppy. And nobody can win in a choppy market, of course. So, I mean, we'll have a lot of no trade zones. We'll probably have a lot of, break-even days. Days win a little bit, lose a little bit. But if the market is really choppy or kind of flat or even in a narrow trading range, well, nobody in the world can win in a market like that. So we picked the NQ. Last year, we were really high on the ES because it was the E-mini S&P because it was, fairly smooth. Nothing is really always smooth, but it was fairly smooth, and it had a decent amount of volatility, and which means there were more trading opportunities. There was more opportunity for us to make money, and that's obviously what we're all here for. So again, that's the only reason. Some people say, well, you don't show this or that. Well, I'll show you anything you want, but we just been keying in on the NQ because we've been putting the results week by week on the website. And today was a great day. Well, I tell it like it is. Yesterday and Tuesday were not good days at all. It was choppy, sideways. The price action was terrible. We did not do well either. So, it's part of the trading business. It's hard to get excited about coming in on a day like today after the last 2 days weren't very good, but bingo, I mean, today worked out really well. So being that it hasn't it's been performing so well since the beginning of the year, but the hard part is the mental part of it. The hard part is just sticking with it, having the discipline to take the trades after maybe a couple of bad trades or a bad day or something. That's the hardest part. It's the mental aspect of it. But if you have the patience to wait for the AbleTrend trades and the discipline to make the trades and keep plugging away, I mean, Jesse has the results on the website, and it has not been a losing week since the beginning of the year. But I guarantee you there'll be losing trades and losing days, although this week could be a losing week. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow because we're on the borderline right now. But let's jump in and see. So, it definitely goes both ways, but fortunately, the discipline to stick it out and to follow the AbleTrend rules, that's the key. There's only 2 entry rules and 2 exit rules and 1 stop rule. So it's really simple rules, but again, sometimes a little bit more difficult to do because of the emotions that are all involved when we have money on the line. Believe me, I totally understand that. This is CA Computer Associates. This is a daily, weekly chart. We had a really nice a win tick signal a couple days ago when the win tick report scans the entire market every night and puts all the new buy and all the new sell signals on the website in a list. So you can see over here a couple days ago, it turns out that it must have been great earnings or something here today, or maybe a takeover or something. I don't know the exact, I didn't look into the news, but I did see on the chart, it was like, wow, that's a home run. After a no trade zone here last week, then a no trade zone 2 months ago, buy signal in here, but that's a stop out there. So we actually lost 1.5 points on that trade. It's more like a point, but we'll say 1.5 on that trade right there. Well, then you can re-enter any one of these blue bars. It just kind of went sideways. You had triple confirmation, and that was about a break-even trade, maybe a small one. I'll call it a break-even because right here would be the previous lower blue dot. When the price was here, these are the blue dots under the price. There's the previous lower blue dot. We always lag one level lower. So we start off down here, and then we just keep on going higher and higher as the dots go higher. And then this, it's always basically kind of about a break even for a couple of months here. But then the win tick buy signal and AbleTrend guidance chart buy signal came in. Daily chart buy signals right there. 3 days ago, had the blue support dot right below it, so there was protection. Had the weekly dot also green, triple confirmation, and that one just took off today. It was up like $7 today. It was crazy. So you got yourself a call option because AbleTrend's daily, weekly charts are very popular with option traders who hold position for days or weeks at a time. You'd have entered or even bought shares. Either way, shares or a call option at $37. That's 44 and change today. That's a mega home run right there, big time. And the software gave us that. You, me, and everybody else. The software gave us the winning trade 3 days ago. The buy signal comes in, triple confirmation buy signal came in right there. So that was a good one right there. Nice. Sydney says, when you say sell the second lower supportive dots, I assume the XXX is the same as the dots. Yes, it is. Some people use X's, some charts use dots. It's just personal preference. Yes, sir. The second lower blue dot below the price. For example, over here, where we would enter right there. And a good question might be, wait a minute, there's only one row of blue dots. Where do I put the dot? It's the second row of small blue dots, Sydney. Small blue dots. So there's only one row of blue dots. Stop loss would just go a couple of cents under that blue dot because there is no lower row of small blue dots. You always put it at the second row of small blue dots. That's all it is. Hope that helps. So let's jump in. Let's take a look at the mini NASDAQ, which has been our favorite one that we've been talking about since the beginning of the year. And that doesn't mean it's going to continue to do well. But I mean, obviously nobody can know what's going to happen in the future. But all we can go by is week by week, month by month this year. It's been the most profitable market to trade because of the price action. That's the key. Now, different markets just trade differently, and AbleTrend doesn't care what you or I or anybody in the world trades. It's just going to work. The algorithm works equally well. It's equally accurate for everything, but sometimes the price action is just really choppy or sideways, and when that happens, well, obviously nobody in the world can win when that happens. But we'll take a look at here, the NQ, because this has been our favorite, and right at the next couple of minutes before the open, we got a no trade zone right there. But we got triple confirmation a buy signal there. That one went up pretty nicely from there. Actually, that went up very nicely. And then we're going to exit right there. There's the stop loss. Previous lower blue dot under the price. So that one worked out well, and had a really nice run, if you want to call it, a really nice trend. A little after the market opened, about 15-20 minutes after the market opened, and that one went up for about an hour straight, which is unusual on a 1 hour chart. But that one worked out really well, and that kind of helped out for the last 2 days, as mentioned, which were really, really choppy. But that worked out well because that was like a 30-point winner, we'll call right there. Then a no trade zone, then another buy signal, any one of these blue bars in here. That was about a break-even trade right there. Again, take profit on the way up. By the way, just going back to this one here, don't hesitate to take profit when it hits the band, especially if you're trading multiple contracts. Obvious no trade zone here and here, but between that, we had a losing trade right here. I'll lose about, I'll call it 5 or 6 points or so right here because we're out right away quickly enough. Buy signal not going to be here. That looks like it's too far from the blue dot. We want to keep it, 10 points or under 10 points from the first row of blue dots. That works out really well that way. Michael says, geez, what an NQ day. Yeah, it was good. It was good, Michael. But, I'm really fair about this because this is all about real serious trading. I mean, a lot of money on the line here. And, and I keep mentioning it, but it's the right thing to do. I mean, I don't just talk about the good stuff and, gloss over the bad stuff or anything. But the last 2 days wasn't so great. So it was nice to have a really good day like today. Monday was okay. And today was Monday and Thursday this week were good. Tuesday and Wednesday, not so good. So we're I don't have the figures in front of me over every trade, but probably we'll see what happens tomorrow. That'll probably be a make or break day for the week. Anyhow, we're going to go long right in here, triple confirmation long. Oh, that one went up real nice. We get out on the red bar. There's only 2 exit rules. The price goes under the blue dot to the second lower row, the small blue dots. Or if we get a red bar with a red dot that closes red on the 1 minute chart, wow, we're out even before we hit the stop loss. Because a red bar, ooh, that trumps everything. That means short term, it's going lower. Well, at least the odds are in favor of that going lower. Okay, right over here, we got triple confirmation buy signal. We're going to get stopped out and we'll lose a couple points on that trade. We're going to get long again here. We're going to get stopped out again. Another point or 2 loss. We're not touching this long because you're at the upper band. Here we can get long. Let me zoom in a little closer. Again, we're going to give back 1 or 2 points there. I mean, obviously still up a whole bunch for the day. It got a little choppy over here toward the end of the day. Definitely did. Give a little bit back. We can go no trade zone here, of course. Let me just point the no trade zones out, which jumped right out at me. They're pretty obvious. These are 3 no trade zones. We can definitely go long for sure here. Going to get back another, call it 5, it's 2 or 3, but we'll call it 5. This is about maybe make a point or 2. I'll call it break even because we'd be long on the blue bars. Goes up, and here it goes under the blue dot right here. Once it goes under that blue dot, boy, my eye goes right to that. It's like, oh, that's trouble. And it goes to the previous lower blue dot right there, which is why I circled this point. This exact point here is where we exit the trade. Of course, a no trade zone. This was a good trade. Got cleaned up some of these 3 or 4 or 5. We had about 3 4 or 5 point losers here in a row, but this was kind of nice because that cleaned it up into the 4 o'clock New York close, which is right about there. So this was okay here because we picked up about 6 or 7 points going into the close right there. But anyhow, overall, obviously was a good day, trading the NQ, and that was nice because coming off of 2 days of losses, that was okay. That helped out. Fortunately, we were on Monday again, just going by the strict AbleTrend rules as if you were a robot. But that's not going to happen. You're definitely not going to, nail every one of these tricks. It's not possible. I mean, you'd have to just be like robotic and make like you're playing with Monopoly money, and it's just not going to happen. All I ever say is, if you get a piece of it, if you get a half or 3/4, of it, great. You're doing great. Believe me, that's fantastic. So we're just looking to, maximize it, put the odds in our favor, maximize things. But you're not going to grab every. It just doesn't happen. It's not possible. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. So now, the TQQQ is for those who don't trade futures. Nothing wrong with that. Who don't have a futures account or don't want to day trade futures. If you just day trade equities or stocks or indices, TQQQ might be a good one because it's very similar to the NQ, which is in the futures market. So if you just have, like I say, a TD Ameritrade, or you just trade stocks, or you like to either do options on equities or indexes, or you either options or you just trade shares, TQQQ might be a good one. And I bring that up because it's very similar to the mini Nasdaq futures market. Very similar. They're both the Nasdaq, and they're both very similar. Not exactly the same, but as you can see, the chart almost looks exactly the same. Very similar. We'd have a buy signal, not at the open because you're hitting those upper bands, but a couple of bars in, you've got triple confirmation. And if you missed the beginning or something, boy, you've got an absolutely textbook perfect sweet spot. You want to look for these trades on your charts, no matter what you're trading. You've got the pullback, back down to the blue dot, bar goes from green to blue. You've got triple confirmation, close to the blue dot. I mean, that's just your textbook sweet spot. We call that a sweet spot because of its extremely low risk. And AbleTrend is either going to give you, buy, a sell, or a no trade zone. And that's just as important, sometimes not to do anything at all. And that's what makes it different, is the guidance chart combining the two time frames into one chart and putting the odds greatly in your favor, and keeping us out of trouble, because that's what these no trade zones do. I mean, the software told us over here is going to go sideways or choppy or be in a very narrow trading range. It's not worth taking a risk. Don't put your money up. Well, looking at it 20 minutes later, that's exactly what happened. It just went sideways. And it was in a very narrow trading range, meaning nobody can win. Same thing over here. Same thing over here. Just went sideways, choppy. Can't win in those markets. It's a good thing the software kept us out. So the point of the no trade zones is it keeps us out of potential trouble. With AbleTrend, we just want to have the odds in our favor. Guaranteed there's going to be losing trades and losing days. But if you're always making a trade with the odds in your favor, the good stuff has to catch up to you. And the key with AbleTrend, and here's the hard part, is to try and stay in these big, long trends, like this trend here on the NASDAQ. You've got to stay in these big, long trends. Hard to do, because sometimes it's up, and then you back down again, and you're back to even. You go, oh, why didn't I get out when I was winning? Believe me, I know what that's like. But the key is, so often you get these big trends with AbleTrend. As long as you have the blue dots below, stay in the trade. You're safe. You've got a wall of protection there. That's what the blue dot does. It's telling us there's a wall of protective support under the price that's going to slow it down from going any further lower than that blue dot. So it means stay in the trade. You're safe. Now, certainly it's going to pull back many times and we're going to get stopped out. But if you can catch these big trends, you catch a big one like this, boy, that cleans up a lot of small losses from maybe the day before or maybe coming up in the future. The losses are generally in the 5 to 10 point range on the mini NASDAQ. When you can catch a 30, 40 point winner, that's going to make up for, that's going to really, put us in the positive and help to clean up a lot of small losses, which will come about. That's the trading business. It's not easy, that's for sure. It definitely works on your mind. It makes you a little crazy sometimes. But at least with AbleTrend, we've got the odds in our favor. We've got no trade zones. We've got two time frames in one. I mean, it gives us a big advantage because let me tell you, versus moving averages and other software programs and MACDs and stochastics, I mean, that's a guaranteed way that when you have no chance, nobody does. That's why 90% of traders get crushed. Rick says, when you have a pullback and finally go from green bars to blue at the sweet spot, do you wait for at least one bar to close a full blue color before taking the buy? Yeah, you just want to have one blue bar here, Rick. Good question. You just want to have one blue bar. Once you have that one blue bar, like right here, at the close of that bar or the open of the next bar, regardless of the color of the next bar, because it could be green, that doesn't matter. The bar before it was blue. Well, that's where you get in. Right there is your entry. Good question. So those are the sweet spots that you want to look for if you missed the beginning of the trade. Now, of course, the beginning of the trade is the best time to get in because that's that you're getting in on the uptrend, right at the start. But if you missed it or whatever, or like here, went sideways a little bit. Here's a good example. Actually, this trade here is, well, this is the TQQQ, but my guess is if you were looking at the mini NASDAQ, it was probably too far from the dots. We use, it's got to be under 10 point. You can use anything else. We just use that as a guide. Some people use less, some people use more, but we just use that as a guide. But like here would be a sweet spot. Here would be a sweet spot. It turns out we'd have lost a little, a couple cents on that trade because we get stopped out. But those are sweet spots because it pulls back, goes from green to blue, and when the first bar closes blue, you have a very good risk-reward ratio in your favor. And that's all you can do. Nobody has a crystal ball to guarantee anything in the future. But if we're always making trades when the odds are, maybe 60, 70, 80% in our favor, mathematically it's going to catch up to us and we're going to be okay. The hard part is just trying to, sludge through the, a couple of losses in a row because it just works on your mind. Just natural to work on your mind. And, that's just normal. We all get that. So Hope this was helpful. Same colors and dots, same rules. You can trade any markets in the world, currencies, crude oil, gold, doesn't matter to AbleTrend. It's all the same thing. You just hopefully, picking markets that have a history, because nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow, but have a history of trending fairly smoothly, and yet with enough volatility to give us the profit potential. And right now, and this year, the NQ has been the winner on that end. But we'll see what happens going forward. I hope I was helpful for you. Thanks for being here, everyone, and have a great night.